I got in it because what I was talking about, the books, I have the title New York Times bestseller because it was a bestseller. It was on the list for a week. You get to keep that title, but I've never been like this runaway bestseller. So I was had to get in private school, and I was like, well, this is not cute anymore. I need to pad this income in a way. And all those movies that never got made, the feature that I wrote, the things I wrote for other people for hire, all of that kind of stuff that I was doing, it was deep character work, it was grown-up storytelling, things that were richly complicated and, had sociopolitical overtones. All of that work moved to television. I was right on the edge when I walked away. I didn't quite get that The Sopranos wasn't an outlier, that was the start of something really different in television. I didn't have enough foresight to see it. So all the time I'm writing books and loving it and being well received and being an author and thinking that's it. I'm never going back to Hollywood. My sister said, I don't think you're done with Hollywood. And I knew emotionally I must not be, because when my Writers Guild membership lapsed for a while, I was like, oh no, that's my whole identity. But anyway, I needed money, and I went back to my agent and went, hey, remember me? I'm back. And I went there because I wanted to talk about a show idea I had. But while we were there, we started talking about what new shows were staffing. And I said, well, send me lots of scripts, I'll see. And they were kind of shocked that I was willing to staff. But I was. And Empire was one of the scripts that I read that really stood out because it felt fresh. I had never quite seen anything like it. When I met with Lee Daniels, Danny Strong, and Eileen Chaikin, who was the kind of triumvirate of power at the top, what I liked about them is that, unlike other people I'd met with, they did not discount that I had taken like 3 to 4 years away from Hollywood. They thought it was interesting. And because Lee Daniels and Danny Strong at that time had never done television before, they didn't have any rules about what a room should look like. So there were other people in there who'd never done television before. I maintained that the first season of Empire was as good as it was because we had no rules about what it was supposed to be. So it came across very kind of vanguard. We wrote the whole first season in a vacuum. The show was pretty much wrapped by the writer's room was pretty much wrapped by the time it aired. So it was just like, what just happened? I mean, nobody could have predicted it, but I do know that while we were making up the stories in the writer's room, we were all like, or at least I was like, I would watch the hell out of this show. This looks like fun. And we were right. It was a ton of fun and people loved it. I'm trying to think who was the most fun to write for. It's either Lucius or Cookie. Like they were the heartbeat of the show. And they were the ones most likely on set to say something totally different than what was on the page. So it became a real, that show really found itself always on set, like, because they were definitely going to speak up or ad lib or do this. I mean, some of the best lines of the series were ad libbed. I mean, they were very fun in that way. What you were trying to do was always hold to the spine of the scene so that you could get some of the great things that are coming from inside the actor and never veer too far off of story.